The 1971 Camaro Lethal Classic is well underway, but let's talk about exactly where we're at and where we're going. Let's get to it. What's going on, guys? Matt over here, Lethal Garage, and today I want to bring you guys basically a 2019 update. It's coming to the end of the year. As many of you guys know, we picked up the Lethal 71 Camaro back in March. So we've had the car for what, 7, 8, 9 months, almost 9 months, a little shy of 9 months. And a lot has happened. It doesn't look like it. It looks like there's just a whole bunch of stuff all over it. And that's mainly because every time we work on the car, I have to slide everything back and get it all back in place. But we got a lot of things going. We got the whole front end. It's up over here under a whole bunch of blankets. I literally disassembled the rear end today, so I'm feeling really good about that. We have the mini tubs set up in, at least the wheel tubs themselves now. Those are welded in place back into the car. That's a huge relief, and that was a big step, and I think it's a big step for a lot of people if they're gonna take that on. And here, I have a light. Maybe I can turn the light on, you guys could see a little bit better in here. That's a little bit better. So, a lot of you guys know the car was missing the rear package. Well, the rear package tray was cut up to pieces because of the roll cage that was in the car, and the whole backseat backing that holds the backseat in place was completely cut out, missing from the car. Now, underneath this blanket, you can kind of see a piece of it right here. I chopped one out of a donor car, and we're gonna put it in. That's really the next step, and that's gonna help us button in everything that needs to be done internally on the car to get the mini tub kit done. The other side of it is we got to relocate the spring mounts and all that stuff that will complete the kit, and that will also complete our suspension, because as you know, the whole front end's ready to go. We're bolting on the Detroit Speed setup, and that's really what we're getting to. Now, as far as cutting and welding, you're like, oh my God, there's still so much work to do. You're right, there's a ton of work to do, but really all of this welding and all this cutting is what we needed to get done so we can get the car media blasted, so we can start getting the brand new coatings in, the brand new painting, getting the dyno mat in the interior, and start fitting all of these interior pieces in the car. So really, once we get all this welding done, we get some of the rear floorboards patched up. The front firewall has a lot of additional holes in it that we got to plug up. But once all that's done and we media blast the car, this thing's gonna start flying together, at least in my brain. We'll be able to get the full suspension back on, which is all brand new or rebuilt. We'll be able to get the interior parts and pieces that I have. We have the whole wiring kit. We'll get that in. We have the motor. We can get that mounted, run the brake lines, run the fuel line. I mean, there's just so much that's gonna be able to happen very quickly. So keep in mind, the goal is to get this car fired off in March, whether that's the end of March or beginning of March or maybe April. I don't know. We'll see. But the goal is to get this car rumbling in the Lethal Garage and potentially drivable by March. And that does not count a paint job. That does not count a whole bunch of other stuff. But that would be a huge monumental goal. And that's literally 3.5 months away if you want to dwindle that down. And I think it's possible. A lot of you out there are gonna be like, no freaking way. I'm an optimist. I think it's possible. I set out, you know, the project itself went stagnant for 1.5 million reasons. CamaroCon being a big reason for that this last year. So now that is done, I've kind of taken some time off and saved up some additional money, did some side work. Lethal Garage Flex Fuel kits have really provided a lot of sales and a lot of way to invest into this project in its own right. Obviously, YouTube videos have also helped. So if you guys are out there watching the YouTube videos here, again, just know every view counts. And if you watch the whole videos, that helps a lot. That helps bring pennies in. You know, when tens of thousands of people are doing that across the 900 videos, it adds up. It's not a ton of money. I don't make a ton of money on YouTube, but the money I do make has been invested into this beast, and some of it still in this car. And if you're interested in what's going on with the Lethal Camaro, the 6th gen, there's a video on that for end of year wrap up of where we're at and what's going on with it. But I'm feeling really good about the 71. So overall, the biggest reason for the paint being delayed is I can't settle on a color. I've been talking about going green. I saw a second gen with the exact green color that I wanted in person, and it instantly made me say no. So I think I'm moving away from the green, and it's the number one question that I get from everybody, a lot of you guys, is what color are you going with? And I don't know. I literally don't know. I do know that we'll paint the entire interior black, so that's all gonna be done. We got dyno matte, that will all get done. I think the interior is going to start looking really good and fresh and new here very quickly. Literally this coming weekend, I'm going to be cutting out the rest of the roll cage. We're going to be drilling out the welded areas on the rear tray. That's coming out. We're going to get the new tray in, get the rear suspension on, and again, just get it media blasted, all coated, and then we can start putting all the new suspension on. I think it's going to make a huge difference seeing this car on its final suspension. The problem is wheels. I'm having a heck of a time because we got a Camaro bolt pattern with Corvette brakes, and I got to find a proper wheel that has the right depth and offset and all that stuff. So I'm going to be getting the car put together in that regard so I can figure out the wheels so we can get this car rolling here very quickly. But yeah, that's where we're at. That is the Lethal second gen, or the Lethal Classic. So if you guys are interested in this build, or maybe you're working on a build and there's aspects of my build you're interested in what I do or am doing, I hope these videos have been helpful in a way, or interesting. I don't like to assume everybody likes to hear me yammer, because yeah, no one likes to hear themselves yammer, but hopefully it's been a good experience for you guys. I'd love to know what you think I could do better, if anything. I want to bring forth the content you guys are looking forward to or want to see, but the ultimate goal is cover as much as this restoration, I guess you could say, or bringing this car back to life is possible, and show you everything possible. One really cool thing, actually, you see the rear end. I have a specific video on those. Got a lot of the rear end bits, and again, this garage is a disaster. We got the axles, but we got some goodies over here. We got some goodies. What kind of goodies? It's from the Ring Brothers. I love the Ring Brothers. Every car they've ever done, I've been in love with. I'm a huge fan of their Javelin. Also, their Mustang they had at SEMA was just beautiful. But check out these new hinges. So I got the second gen billet hinges from the Ring Brothers. These will be holding the doors in place instead of doing a rebuild or anything like that. I wanted something solid, something that's going to be awesome, and so I picked up their hinges. Got a Black Friday deal on it, so saved about $100 on them, which was awesome. But overall, really cool product. Super excited to have this on the car. At least something that those guys do, because they do great stuff, and you know, buying products from them helps support their projects. So excited to be able to do that. And they got the doors here. One interesting thing I found about the doors: these are not the original doors to the car, unfortunately. One is a manual door, the other one has electronics for an electric door, and it's a white. It was originally white. So maybe, I think this one is factory to the car because it's the antique green, but the other door definitely isn't. Interesting. So, but there you have it. We just finished up the welding, and I cleaned everything up and stacked everything back on the car and swept the garage so I can get the Lethal 6th gen into the garage. But yeah, I'm really excited where we're at with the car. I think it's coming along very quickly. One thing I do want to highlight and announce, I'm going to be working with Anvil Auto. If you guys don't know who Anvil Auto is, they make a ton of parts for second gen Camaros, whether it's a closeout panel, whether it's new hoods. They have modern day LED headlights, carbon fiber bits and pieces for all aspects of these cars. I'm going to be working with them in a lot of different ways for the second gen to bring some newness. Now, I don't know if I'm doing full exposed carbon fiber. There's a really good chance I may paint it, but I just like the way their products look. I like how they are, and I'm super excited to be working with them. So there's going to be a lot of parts and pieces to be revealed and talked about, install guides, all that kind of stuff down the road, coming real fast. Obviously, a lot of their parts are all exterior dress-up pieces, so those are all things that you'll start seeing hopefully February time frame, March time frame. We'll see. But as we get them, we can obviously do some unboxing and talk about it, see how it fits on the car and all that kind of stuff. So excited to go through that. But that's all I got. That's it. That's all. If you guys are working on a classic build and you've fallen into these videos, let me know in the comments below. Would love to know what kind of car you're working on. I mean, as much as I'm working on my car and sharing it, I love having conversations with you in the comments, find out what you guys are building, what engines you're going with, what kind of rear end are you doing. I think a lot of people are they're gonna argue with me, at least around my choice in sticking with the rear end I am, and I'm okay with that because I know a lot of guys running cars that are doing perfectly fine with the rear end that I'm choosing, and it's saved me a ton of money. And I think we could show how to properly build one and do well. So overall, again, this build is something I've dreamed of, and I talk about this picture up on the wall a lot, but my buddy took this photo of this car, and I've had photos of second gens forever, but this car is my inspiration in many ways. I know this is a factory Z28, and I'll just be honest, I can't afford a factory Resto Z28, but I'm gonna make mine look like this as best as I can, and I'm not gonna try to say it's something it's not. I was trying to come up with like a classy name, like maybe it's L Classic or Lethal Classic or Lethal 71. I don't know. Maybe come up with my own emblems or work on something, but that's the goal. So again, love to know what kind of builds you guys are working on, what you guys are doing, the road you're taking. Where did you get hung up at? Because I know there's a ton of you guys out there that have nice cars sitting in your garage that are just on hold for who knows what reasons. But tell me about it. Let me know. Either or. Thanks for checking out this video. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you want to see more around the content, hit that subscribe button. Watch all the videos beginning to end. Even if I'm talking a lot, it definitely helps support the channel. But until next time, guys, hope to see you on the road.